If you're listening right now to the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we know something about you. We know that you're obsessed with Little House on the Prairie.
For more than half a century, Little House on the Prairie, the series and the books have been bright lights for people all over the world who seek out goodness, decency, and human connection.
Here on the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we celebrate everything that made Little House so special.
The stories, the characters, the actors, and the messages that have made Little House iconic family television.
And a perfect counterpoint to a world that feels like it's going off the rails every day.
Where is Michael Landon when we need him most? I'm your host, Pamela Bob.
And I'm your prairie bitch, Alison Arngrim.
And I'm Dean Butler.
Our hashtag imaginary boyfriend. Join us for our loving, quirky, and often irreverent conversations about the finest family drama in the history of television.
And the imperfect people who made it that way.
Presented by our devoted patrons and visit SeaMeValley.com.
Hey, yo, forget about it! How we doing, Bonnet? We were just talking about New York and how much we love New York and the delivery of New Yorkers before we started recording. So hi, everybody. How are you doing? I'm Pamela Bob, your host, creator and star of Living on the Prairie and Prairie Superfan. And I am here, as always, with our beloved Prairie bitch. That's right, Alison Arngrim. Yay! Who's home now? Huzzah. And our hashtag imaginary boyfriend. That's right, the one and only Dean Butler. Hi, you
I'm
guys.
sitting in my chair here.
Hey, yo! There used to be a sign. They took it down. They replaced it with something else. But when you crossed into Brooklyn, when you crossed the Brooklyn Bridge and enter Brooklyn, it just says, forget about it.
I've never
Forget
been across
about
the
it.
Brooklyn Bridge.
You've never been across the Brooklyn Bridge?
No, I haven't.
What?
Maybe we have to fix that.
I
on
think
our
we
upcoming
do.
trip to the Big
New
Apple.
York City.
On the list.
That's
Wow.
really, Dean. You didn't
Yeah,
ever.
no, I haven't. I've never been across the Brooklyn Bridge. And
We
it's
have to
such an
New Yorkify him
iconic. It's
when
such an
we were there.
iconic piece of architecture.
It really
I've never
is.
been across it. Yeah.
All the bridges are, though. I mean, I know the Brooklyn
Yeah.
Bridge is the Brooklyn Bridge, but I have to say, all of the bridges in New York are just stunning. They're stunning.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
yeah.
incredible.
We have to make a
Old
big
and
list.
stunning.
Yeah.
Yes,
Dean, we're
old
making
and
a list
stunning.
after we have
Yeah.
a list. Have you been?
So,
Yeah, but he
we
lived
always-
there.
Really?
I'm sorry?
You lived there.
I did for a year, but my life was between West
the
85th
theater.
Street and the theater, and
I
that's
know.
really what I did.
I
That's
know.
all
And
I
that was
did.
and I mean, being in any show, 8 shows a week is incredibly demanding, and you do live in the theater. Really, your life revolves around that. But that particular show was very demanding also. So, yeah, I hear you.
Well, for me, I'm sure. Look, if I felt I was just sort of dialed into it, I think if I know other actors who could, for a 2:00 matinee, can roll out of bed at 1:15
Yeah.
and come into the theater and kill it.
Yeah.
At 2:00. That's just not how I'm wired at
Yeah.
all. I
there's-
need that prep time.
There's the Broadway Baseball League too, where you they have this baseball
Yes.
league, and it's all the Broadway shows, and you sign up, and if you want to play, it's great. And
Yeah.
I was always
Yeah.
like, I'm tired. I'm not playing sports before doing a 2-show day. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's there.
But it was so much fun to be. I mean, as someone who's not ordinarily in that world, to be in Central Park with those people,
Yeah.
playing softball,
Yeah.
was
Oh, so you did do
much
it.
fun. Oh, I definitely did that.
Oh,
yeah.
Dean, that's
no,
great.
I mean, I remember definitely playing softball with Bernadette Peters, and
Yeah. It's
all
so
of that.
crazy.
And she was, she just was very sweet and fun, and little and never loud because she was always on voice rest.
The voice, the gift. Yep.
Yeah.
You're always on
voice
vocal rest when you're doing a musical because
Yeah,
even
yeah,
talking
yeah,
strains
yeah.
it. You're
Yeah, it was these games were quiet. Wasn't not a lot of yelling in these games.
no.
They wouldn't say
We
it.
have a gold game with no yelling because everybody said it's out.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
protect
so
the gift.
I know we're getting
Protect
off
the
on
gift.
this huge digression.
Okay. Yes. All right. We'll get back. We're just talking New York because we're pumped.
Yeah, we're talking
for our
New
New
York.
York City live podcast. It's
Yeah.
coming up so soon. It's November 22nd at 1 p.m. at the Green Room 42. Listen, tickets are almost sold out, so get on it. Get on it. The live tickets. Live stream tickets are unlimited. Go for it, you guys. And remember that the link is good for 30 days after the event. So if you can't catch it live, catch it whenever you can catch it. But also, we have a contest alert.
Oh,
Or-
no, a
Contest
contest.
alert.
a contest alert. Okay, can we talk about the contest?
Yeah,
I'll
please.
explain the contest. Here we go.
Okay.
This is a contest alert. This is a contest for, we're giving away prizes to our amazing fans who support this live event. And I'll tell you how. This is how you enter. 1, buy a live stream ticket. And if you have already bought a live stream ticket, you are already eligible to enter, right? 2, follow us on Instagram. That's Little House 50 Podcast. Boom, boom. 3, tag 3 friends in your contest Instagram post. Just 3 friends. 3 friends who would like the podcast, maybe, and might want to enter the contest also. Okay, after that, that's how you enter. What are the prizes? Here are the prizes. A personalized video message from Dean and Alison. Wow. I get to talk to them all the
So
time.
is that a separate or together message? Are
That's
we
a
in the same
together
room or are we
message.
doing it?
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sorry?
Together.
Same room,
We're
baby.
hilarious.
Okay. Oh, well, we are awesome together in the same room.
Yes. Who knows?
are
Maybe
a
I'll
riot.
even peek in at one point.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Also, you also get a shout out, an opportunity to submit 3 questions for the live show. We'll select 1 to be answered live during the podcast. Okay, but you'll get a shout out regardless, and then you'll also get a Nelly Christmas ornament. And you guys, I looked at these ornaments today that we'd ordered for the merch. They are so brilliant. There's beautiful ceramic Christmas ornaments. You will get a Nelly Christmas ornament that is autographed and an autographed podcast postcard by us.
That's awesome.
So please enter the contest. It's going to be fun. There's all these rules and everything. You can look at it. If you go on our social media, either on Facebook, Instagram, or I believe on TikTok, all of this information is up there. But enter the contest and get a digital live stream ticket. It'll be so much fun. That's it. That's the contest.
Perfect. And I would say we also need to talk about the fact that we've got our big event, which we will all be there.
Yes.
We do everything together. So we will all be there in Simi Valley.
I know. I will be there too, you guys. It's official. I'm coming.
Yeah. So everyone, Pamela is such a wonderful interviewer. She's such a wonderful super fan of Little House. So Pamela is running our VIP Plus presentations. So she will be doing all the interviews with cast members who are stepping into those interviews, and those are going to be recorded and made available to everybody after the fact. And so if you're not in the room, you will have access to them later.
Yep. We got some good stuff coming up. And also your chocolate expo, which happens before New York City, which hopefully you'll be able to get out to the East Coast without
I'm
without
dreaming
any
about
problems.
the chocolate expo.
Yes. You better bring some
Rhode
chocolate.
Island.
Yeah,
with
Lincoln,
you.
Rhode Island. Oh,
I've
dreaming
never been
about
to
it.
Rhode Island. Have you been to Rhode Island?
I've been to Rhode Island. I've been
freaking everywhere. Have you been
yes,
to Rhode Island?
Rhode Island's great. I've been to Providence and Newport. Newport is magical.
Well,
Magical.
It should be getting sort of cooler there now, shouldn't it?
Oh yeah,
It is. I've been checking the
bring your
weather.
coat.
Yeah, because it's 8 billion degrees here where I am right now. But it's going to be
Bring your coat.
pleasant in San Francisco, chilly at night, where I'm doing Oasis. And then, boom, I'm going to be Boston, Rhode Island. Go over to Rhode Island. And it will be cool in Rhode Island. It will be very cold at night. And it'll be lovely in the day, but crisp. And New York, the week we're there, will be crisp, sunny, but cool. Bring a jacket in the daytime.
Nice.
And
Nice.
holy moly, y'all bring something warm for the evening, because it's going to be cold. It'll be cold at night.
November in New York is
we are
chilly.
going to New Yorkify Dean because we're going to be there a week. So, Dean, have you been to Katz's Deli? Did you do Katz's Deli?
I'm sorry, I'm going to do
Katz's Deli. Have you been to Katz's?
Have you been
I
to
have
Katz's?
not been to Katz's
Okay,
Deli,
so
but
he
I
lived
will
in New
go to
York.
Katz's Deli.
He lived in New York,
The
but
deli
he
from when
only
Harry
lived in the
met- deli
theater.
from when Harry met Sally.
That's right.
We gotta go.
I
Gotta go.
went in. There was a deli right on 8th Avenue, something like that, and it was every day a turkey sandwich on rye with coffee regular. I mean, that was
Yes.
my deli experience in New York.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, we'll take
Taking
you.
him to
We'll
Cats.
do
We're
it.
taking him everywhere. We're going to make sure she's everything.
We'll take you to the Brooklyn Bridge.
We're
All right.
getting
Awesome.
excited.
Oh my God, we're going to get so much content. I mean,
We're gonna get so much content.
Fantastic. We're going to get content. Let's get into the show. We've got
All right.
something really fun today.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
do.
I love this episode. Okay.
Okay, before we get into the show, y'all, if you're a dog lover, this show is for you. Coming up today, a touching story about losing and making friends, the challenges of being different, and the heartwarming importance of love
'Cause it is.
and acceptance. But first, from UBN Go in California, Prairie Partners, and visit seemivalley.com. Y'all, this is the Little House 50th Anniversary Podcast. Boop, boop. All right. Okay. What are we talking about today, Dean?
So today we're talking about the season 4 premiere episode of Little House, The Castoffs, which debuted on September 12th, 1977. This episode was written by Tony Caden. And I don't know how many episodes Tony Caden wrote.
Yeah,
but
that's
this
not
is
a familiar name.
Yeah, not a name we normally hear. And of course, as most season premieres were, this was directed by Michael Landon. So it has his touch visually all over it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You just sort of see Michael's visual style all over this episode. So, Alison, what is this episode about?
Oh my, there's so much going on in this episode. I cried. Okay.
I cried
The fourth
too.
season opens with Laura Ingalls facing one of the hardest lessons of growing up. Oh yeah, when her beloved old dog Jack dies quietly in his sleep.
I know.
It's really bad. It's every child's worst nightmare.
Yep.
Yeah.
The dog.
Well, particularly after she wasn't able to clean the foxtails out
And
of
it's
his ears.
right.
I mean,
But she'd had a fight with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
She'd argued with the dog
Of
before he died.
course.
Into this tender storm blows Kezia Horn, Walnut Grove's newest and strangest resident. Kezia is a walking contradiction, wise and foolish, lonely yet defiant, prickly but kind underneath. And she may have possibly been a pirate or something. Meanwhile,
Yes.
Charles Ingalls, like, is he a pirate? What is he talking about? Charles finds new work alongside a big, soft-spoken man, Jonathan Garvey. That's right. This is a Mr. Garvey episode.
It
We love
is.
him. This is technically
this is his
Merlin
first
Olsen's
episode.
appearance.
Yeah.
This is
The beautiful-
Garvey's first episode?
This is his first
season.
appearance on the show. Yeah.
This is awesome because this is the whole thing. Charles is only allowed one best friend,
Yes.
as we all know.
Right.
And of course it was Mr. Edwards, but people getting other work, people
Yeah.
having contract
Yes.
disputes. And then
Mr.
you
Edwards
get
got a series on ABC called Carter Country and said bye-bye because he didn't
And
have
so
a contract on Little House. He
Sure.
was a recurring player.
That's
Which
crazy.
is a dangerous thing to do. Oopsies. And then Merlin Olsen magically appears, and he's awesome. By the end, Laura is smiling again. Jack's memory held close, and a new dog, Bandit, by her side. Kezia, once considered a cast-off, has found a place in both Laura's heart and the town's. The Castoffs is Little House on the Prairie at its finest. It is. It really is.
It is.
Transforming grief into growth, strangers into friends, and reminding us that sometimes the people we're meant to find are the ones everyone else has already given up on. No, this episode is epic, baby. Yeah. I love this episode.
So much to talk about. Where do we start? I guess at the beginning, right?
Well, I think let's start at the beginning because of course that sets the tone right away as Laura is presumably off to meet Kezia, but she is stopped by Ma because Jack has foxtails in his ears and need them cleaning out. And of course, this dog, and I don't remember the dog's real name, but obviously Jack was known as Jack. This, what an adorable, sweet dog this was.
Little
And
schmoopy.
he just looked totally cute every minute. And so, of course, Laura is annoyed and runs off to do what she needs to do. And leaves
And
Jack
for dog
with his
lovers and
foxtails in his
hardcore,
ears.
for hardcore fan dog lovers, Jack, the dog you saw, was fine. Didn't actually die.
Nothing happened to Jack.
Playdate dog. He got a death scene. He played the dog who died, and the actual living, breathing dog went on to like be in other shows.
Okay,
and
that was a number one question of mine. Like, did the dog actually? I don't mean the death
Dog's
scene.
fine.
Is that a dead dog? I mean, in
No,
real life,
it's
did the
fine.
dog actually die?
No,
So this was
it
just
was
a choice to have the
eventually.
dog
Oh,
die.
I know why. I
Yes.
know because in the books, the dog dies. In real life, in real life, the Ingalls traded the freaking dog with the horses because they needed a team of oxen, and the people they bought the house from had
Right.
oxen they need for the fields, and they weren't traveling anymore, so they didn't need the horses or the dog. It was considered a working dog to help with the
Right.
horses. Also, now on the right side, the dog loved the horses, Pat and Patty or whatever they were called,
and Patty,
and was
right.
bonded with them. So, in fact, it would have kind of actually been hard on the dog. They were bonded like kittens. They would have been separated. It would have been, so they said, "Here's some horses and a dog," and got the oxen, and the dog went off with the horses to go run around and do what he does, which is kind of unsettling for people who are like, "Wait, what? What about the?" But in the story, the dog dies, and it's all about Laura growing up. It's the beginning of childhood's end. And it's true. Because, okay, I'm 15 when this film. So Melissa was 13. And she's just hitting puberty. And it's all about Laura growing up. And its childhood is over. And the dog is now died. And we must move on. Now, in the show, he gave her Bandit another dog. He didn't give her Diddly Poo in the book. She didn't get another dog. We were nice. He gave her another dog. But the dog was fine. The dog just went back to the trainers. And then went to go be in, I don't know, an Alpo commercial. And live happily ever after. And make more dog money. Was fine. And the new dog just showed up. I mean, the dog was like, he clocked out, got his paycheck, and went home. The dog was fine. It was just, his contract was up. He was done. It was time for him to do his death scene and go be a dog actor
So
somewhere
in
else.
and we'll get to this, but in the actual death scene where we see the dog, is that the dog or is that a stuffed animal
I think
as
it's
dog?
the dog taking a big nap. It's the
I
dog,
don't know.
and they
I mean,
said,
the dog was
It's
very,
so still.
very still. I wonder.
because he's a good
I
dog,
don't
and
know what the
he's
answer to that is.
nominated. That dog should have been nominated for Emmy. That's why he was a very good dog actor. And when they said play dead,
Wow.
that dog, they said go to dead and really don't move when we call you. And the dog went woof, and he laid down and didn't move. And that's what he does. He's an actor dog. He plays a dead dog. 'Cause
If it,
he's
you know,
good.
if the dog wasn't Jack, it was a tremendous stuffed animal version. of Jack,
Yes.
'cause you just,
I think-
I'm thinking Allison's sort of right. I'm
think
thinking that Allison's right here, that the dog was one of all these animals, their trainers would prep them for specific behaviors that
They would
specific
train to-
episodes would call for. And this would have been one of those things that they would have trained for.
But how
They
do
were
they train a dog to
extremely
close their eyes? Like the dog was dead. I
They
mean,
did, man. They did. Those dogs were smart. Animals you see on film. If you see a dog, you see a horse, you see
Yeah.
a crow, which is in this one.
Especially
if you
dogs.
see an animal, that animal is smart because, okay, we'll probably talk about when we get to the thing and we do the behind the scene. Okay, so we had a lot of cats when I was a kid, and they all had kittens, and we knew an animal trainer, and we kept giving the kittens away to the animal trainer. So I don't know how many like cat food commercials all of my cats were. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
What happens? They often got dogs and cats, but they would screen them. They would test them. Some were smart, some weren't. If they weren't smart, they'd find someone and they'd be somebody's floppy cute pet.
Yeah.
And if they were smart enough, they'd make the cut and then they train them. So these animals audition, baby. They
Yeah.
are no dummies. They are smart. They are trained their whole lives.
Yeah. No, and the trainers are pretty spectacular in how they work with these dogs and all the animals they work with. I mean, we see in this episode we're going to talk about a crow that was beautifully trained. We had a cat in Days of Sunshine, Days of Shadow that
Really
was.
hard.
And you don't think of cats as being easy to train. That was wonderfully behaved and did the behaviors that was
the
asked of
tornado
it.
cat. Yes.
Cats are almost impossible, and they did it.
Yeah. I want to say about this episode. This episode was the episode long before, years before I'd ever had any contact with Little House. When I first came to Los Angeles and it was signed with an agent named Ina Bernstein at ICM. She said to me very early on, having met and spent some time with me, if we ever have an opportunity to get you on Little House, that's something that you will do. and she said this show absolutely tears me apart every week, and she described the Castoffs because she broke down in tears in the office, and Ina didn't cry. She broke down in tears in the office describing how Jack died in this episode. So the Castoffs was set in my mind or this moment with Jack, which I've seen many times, and it always is a wonderful, wonderful moment, not least of which, Pamela, because, of course, you get to see Michael with his shirt off.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Massive.
But anyway, so this was the introductory moment to Little House for me, was the just being told by my agent about how wonderful Little House was and how I should do it someday. So
that's a very good agent. That's an agent who should be agenting. Yeah.
There are weird things in the beginning of this episode. I had to make weird notes. Okay, first of all, when Laura refused, she just went, I don't want to take the boxes on a job. I got things to do. I'm a teenager now. And she doesn't want to help the dog. And she says, let Carrie do it. Is Carrie doing things now? There's several the greatest Carrie moments ever in this episode. Baby Carrie has some really great moments. And the idea, Carrie's going to be baking I wouldn't trust Carrie.
Baking a cake.
Baking a cake.
Putting frosting on the cake. Yeah.
Used to it and licking this book, right? And then Ma says, this is another. Every now and then I know things. I go, I have to write this one down. You look it up. She says you can't just, ignore him like a stitch of old clothes you're tired of. I'm sorry, what does that mean? What is a stitch of old clothes? I've heard of not a stitch of clothing on. That is an expression, not a stitch of clothing. It's just like that. Because I looked this up and I can't, nothing. There is not like a stitch of old clothes, and no one apparently has ever said this except at this moment. I have no idea what this is.
I mean, it's understandable what she's saying, but it is a colloquialism that you don't really hear.
I guess it's like when people say not a stitch of clothing on, to say a stitch of, it's like...
Okay, there it is. Not a stitch of clothing on.
It was jarring.
Even the tiniest little bit of clothing, you have nothing
Not
on.
Even. I just what is she talking about?
Not even a stitch.
Not even a thing.
Yeah.
I also really appreciated how Ma was on Laura, in a real mom way, because we never see her like that. It's sort of it's the picture perfect family where the kids never talk back and they always do their chores and there's never any problem. And I love when I see Ma actually mawing like a real mother would have to do, right? Which is my kid isn't doing what they're supposed to do. I told her 1,000,000 times, get back here and frickin' do it. Yes.
Yes. And Laura's a little punk in this. She is clearly, puberty has kicked in. She's talking back to her parents. She's refusing to do her chores. She's rolling her eyes and stomping out the door. She has gone full 13, like that, which is how it goes. That is how it happens. It happens younger than 13 now. But one day they just wake up and go, no.
And she would have just turned. She would have just turned 13 that May, that previous, as they started shooting that episode. Given that it was the season premiere, and when you look around Simi Valley and you see all the beautiful mustard, that's definitely an early May kind of thing before everything dries out. It must have been a good rain year that year in Southern California because it was lush with mustard.
Some of these shots are so beautiful.
Yeah, it was really, really, really pretty. No fun to walk in, but great to look at.
Sure.
Now, then we have the entrance of, Hermione Baddeley. I want you to know, I was 15. I remember this episode when I got seen. I knew I was in the presence of greatness. Mm-hmm. I knew she was Hermione Baddeley. I knew she had been Mrs. Naugatuck on Maude, the series Maude. She was the housekeeper on Maude. She was brother. So I knew who she was.
Mary Poppins.
She was in freaking Mary Poppins. She was in Mary Poppins. She's the maid of Mary Poppins. Okay. She's Mrs. Cratchit in the 1951 A Christmas Carol. She was in the Pickwick
Papers. Really?
Papers.
Oh, wow.
She was nominated for an Oscar for Room at the Top. And get this. Her role in Room at the Top was 2 minutes and 19 seconds because it set the record for shortest performance on screen to ever be nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
Oscar. Wow.
She was so good. This woman was so good that in 2 minutes and 19 seconds, she put in a performance they had to nominate her for an Academy Award. Wow. In 2 minutes. How do you even do that?
Oh gosh, I hope those 2 minutes are on YouTube.
It's like the Alec Baldwin performance in Glengarry Glen
Yes.
Ross, where it's like
the monologue.
You cannot take your eye off of that moment.
That's her.
Yeah. And you know, fun fact, that monologue is not in the play. He wrote it specifically for the movie because that part needed a little zhuzh. And now you can't imagine that play without that monologue in it. But if you're absolutely right.
Yeah. If you are a young person who's not familiar with the work of Ms. Hermione Baddeley, Google. Get on there, get on YouTube. This woman is the bomb. She has hundreds of credits on IMDb. Wow. She was in like every movie, every episode of every TV show, and she was brilliant. And she's in, like I said, she's Mrs. Cratchit. She's the big Mary Poppins. She was incredible in everything she ever did. Look her up. And then she married someone who was titled. She became like Lady Hermione Tennant, and her daughter was a socialite. And she was huge in theater, and she was a genius. And so as soon as we got to it was like it's like Dame Hermione Baddeley, and I was in awe. And that scene where we're at the house and Nellie's like, "There's no coffee, there's no door," psycho. Where I'm just so mean and like being just a total cow. While I was doing it, and I'm looking at them all like they're crazy and huffing coffee, I'm actually just trying not to throw myself to the ground and we are not worthy and like bow, because I'm watching her and and it's Hermione freaking Baddeley, and she's doing it. She's so good. I'm just sitting there going, I am in the presence of royalty.
Yeah. So my take is that this was my thought process. I was like, I don't know who was in the writer's room that was like, you know what the Prairie needs? An 80-year-old homeless woman who lives in an imaginary house with a talking crow. And is also British. That's what the Prairie needs. But you know what? I am
a pirate.
Yeah, who talks like a pirate. Yes.
She's a pirate.
I don't know who. I don't know who thought of that.
It's a parrot.
I'm here for it.
And she says he's a parrot. And they go, it's a crow. It's not a parrot. It's a crow. No. And the crow's named Polly. She says the parrot talks. And Whiskey Jack was her first husband, and then Smiling Willie Horn. I'm sorry, these are pirates.
We need the biopic.
And she keeps talking about being at sea, and she lost her husband at sea, and they're all Whiskey Jacks. The woman is a retired pirate.
Yeah. We need the Kezia spin-off, like, biopic. For sure. Like,
so,
and
pirate grandma.
Now, I will say that I have to admit that watching this as a grown-ass woman now and not a little kid, I did have I identify with Nellie moment, which is horrifying, because I was like, if I found out my kids were hanging out with this crazy lady, and like, you know what I mean? Like, she's crazy. I mean, she's wonderful, but like this crazy lady, I would be like, get away from her too. And thank goodness I was watching this with my 7-year-old daughter, because she was the one that was like, why is Nellie so mad at her? It's just her using her imagination. Like, it's so much fun. And I was like, this is it. This is how they tapped into the child mindset. And this is why watching it as a child especially was so magical, because you're not thinking those other thoughts. You're going along with the play, right? They're playing.
And she is pretending. She's not delusional, because later she and Laura talk about that. And she's like, but you pretend you have a door. Yes, I pretend I have a door.
Yeah. Right.
She's totally. It's performance art.
Yes.
She's fine.
Yes. Right. But for a minute, I identified with a Nellie.
But you can. It is an interesting exploration of, or a look at, how we think and how the adult is wanting to operate in this rational world, because there's so much pressure to exist. And children, while they certainly had responsibilities in those days, as they do at every age, that's not the first focus. As your daughter reacted to, she saw the fun in this,
and the wonder,
and I think that's a really powerful differentiator. And we see that plays out through the episode. That idea plays throughout the episode.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we find out that the people in the church do not want her coming to church, which is very backwards in my opinion.
So
Mrs.
now, what
Olsen,
was the line that was
parent.
talked about? Christian something, and was there a religious moment there?
Well, Reverend Alden busts them at the end.
At
Reverend
the end.
Alden busts them all at the end. But initially, they're like creepy, crazy, delusional homeless lady, and Mrs. Olsen's like, ew, ew, and she's dirty. Now, I also have a couple issues again with odd things people said. So I'm like, wait, she's been living there for a while. She just showed up. I'm not
I know.
clear.
Where'd she come? When?
I
How?
know, where do these people? Where do they come from? Yeah,
Why is
she
again,
has
this
Prairie?
is about storytelling. It has nothing to do with
No.
continuity.
No.
She has a horse, and one of the people says that her horse eats beef jerky and candy. I'm sure a horse eats beef jerky. There's a horse that
I
eats
don't think
that.
so.
A cow eating horse.
Her
I don't know what's
horse
happening.
does.
No. The horses don't eat beef jerky. They are vegetarians. They eat grass. The horse is eating beef jerky. That would be very wrong. That's almost cannibalism. I don't get it. And then Reverend Alden says, Reverend Alden, Mrs. Olsen tells him, you are only here 2 days a month. Really?
I
In
know. When? Now,
In the books, he has several.
Yes,
towns.
he is a traveling preacher.
yes.
And he's there 2 days, but not on the show. On the show, he had.
Yes,
remember, he
the
had
show
a
is
house
there
there.
every Sunday.
We
there.
recapped an episode, I think it was from season 1, where this also came up, but it was in the very, very, very beginning of the
fine in
series
the
before
first
they
season.
really established him as a main player. And so we're in, what season is this? This is season
Four.
3?
This is season
Four?
four premiere.
He is a
We think
well-established
the show is
character.
well-established at this point.
Right.
Yes.
And he's
We
only in
think
Walnut
so.
Grove 2 times a month? Since when?
Whoops.
I
So
know,
yeah, that was
super
weird.
weird.
I was like, wait, no,
Yeah,
what? And then Laura again with Jack the dog says you're being as stubborn as a goat's nose. Is
Interesting.
that what she said? And I went again. What?
So...
Yeah, this episode is filled. This writer guy who does
Tony
never.
Kaye.
I was just about to say, I am just
What?
now envisioning this one dude in the writer's room like, I've got it! I've got it! You know what the Prairie needs? A saying and mentioning a goat's nose. You know what the Prairie needs? Like just
It's
the
her
most
clothing
random.
that she's thrown away. Goat's nose. What is happening?
This is something that he heard in his youth somewhere. I mean, this is some expression that was part of his childhood. You know, this is the wonderful thing that writers are able to do, is they're able to, and Michael did this all the time. I mean,
Sure.
Michael went back into his youth and spun stories out of his life experience, which was challenging. I'm sure we all do it when we're writing something.
Well,
we're thinking
that's-
about allegorical things that tie together.
That's right.
That we can use that way.
That's why we do that's why artists do what they do. You know, it was really interesting. I had my, I'm diverging, but I swear I'm coming back. Here we go.
Okay.
I had my high school reunion, my high school reunion a couple weekends ago. And I was talking with someone and he was like, well, yeah, no, I know that like actors, performers, you know, they do it because they want attention. And I was like, that's not why we do this. Like maybe there's an element for certainly a population of performer or entertainer that seeks attention, but that's never gonna, this is a hard enough business that will not see you through, right? Like that can't be it. That can't be it. And the
Right.
reason why we do what we do is because we need to express ourselves in a way. We have to. It feels impending, right? And writers and artists have to use what their facilities are going through to express it, to get it out there. And whether that means it's them working out their own psychology or them needing other people to learn a certain lesson, or I mean, you could go on and on and on, but it's all of this is tapped from a real place.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Even the absurdity is tapped. Things that are absurd are tapped from a real place. So
It's to
yeah,
get
of
stuff.
course, writers are using terms that they might have used as we use what we know. We use what our
Sure.
lived experience
Exactly.
is.
If
that-
Michael Landon just wanted attention, he could have just taken his shirt off. every day.
Exactly, which we'll get to. But that's it. Exactly. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
So they're being unchristian-like, in my opinion.
Very, very, very.
And Reverend Alden sort of, it's interesting too, because he felt like he couldn't really fight it, because there's even a conversation where he says, if I fight this, then I lose the whole congregation.
I lose
So it's sort of picking your battles of how far do you go. Very interesting.
It's the art of compromise.
Yes.
In a sense, which is in this case a tough compromise.
Yeah.
But I think this is about making a decision and moving forward. Now, what's great about that is you can change your decision, but he was not going to get mired in a disagreement that was only going to be about conflict. It's always about moving forward. This is what leaders do. Leaders make decisions. They don't waffle on something. I mean, the best leaders make decisions. The best leaders can also change their minds. But it's very important to make a decision and move forward, because the uncertainty is what's such a negative for people. The unknown. Let's decide, and then we'll move forward, and we'll see how we like it. And if we want to change, we'll change. And
he's
this
like,
is what
we're not going to
ultimately
let
is
him
what
in, but
happens in the episode.
well, they'll have to do a blessing, or at least a gesture towards her, and my conscience will be clear that I've tried, but that this ain't happening. So we need to, get on with the show here, babe. So yeah. And he says, if I was a younger man,
That was interesting too. Yeah. That was a really interesting conversation. I thought it was a very insightful conversation. Yeah. Okay.
And then, of course, the children are off to harass an elderly homeless woman, because that's what you do for entertainment, apparently. And this is where I said, immediately I was thrown back there. I remembered everything. I went, oh my God, the paper mache burned out fireplace thing that just appeared.
Is that what it was?
I know. Where did that come from? Was that just
apparently?
That was just there in the field, just there?
Suddenly, yes.
But was it paper mache?
Was it paper mache?
Well, sure wasn't brick. It was fiberglass paper.
It was a set piece, definitely, that was put there.
It came apart in your hands. If you crushed it, it just went bye-bye. It was
sort
crunchy.
of like our fireplace in the set that we created for our 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
It was
You
all
could pick
just
it up and
foam.
throw it in the
It was
back.
just foam underneath
Foam.
styrofoam, carved styrofoam.
That's what brick fireplaces are in TV. They are foam. You can pick it up, throw it in the wagon. It was, So I was just like, I saw her. I was like, wow. This is it's Hermione Baddeley. It's like, it is like, yes, Jedi Master. Yes, Obi-Wan.
For real.
I am watching. Yeah, she is killing it. And at one point I started laughing because my face through their whole exchange was like, oh my God. But that was killing. It was amazing. And the doorway. But then after we had the whole fight, and I'm like, not a door, no coffee. And she says, get out. And I go, it's wide open. I could have turned there and walked back to the mercantile. I don't. I cross the room and I go out the door. I use the door. I died. I died.
Yeah.
And we saw you run all the way home. It was a long run.
That was and Michael was directing. He was going to make you run all the way.
Darn tootin' and how many times? I'm sure I was dead by the end of the day. Oh my God.
Was Hermione nice? What was she like?
Oh, absolutely. Now she's quite old.
Yeah.
I have to look up. I should look up exactly how old she was. She says she's 80. She might have been older. She was old, and so it was like, okay, she didn't leave the lady alone. She got a rest. She's 8 million years old.
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely grand, charming, lovely, perfect, and like on it. Yeah. Knew her lines. She was Jedi Master Hermione Baddeley.
Well, once again, I wonder if they asked her to be on the show, and they must have written this for her, right? I mean, it's so specific.
Is that a thing? Is that because that happened? Johnny Cash's was kind of written for him.
Yep, of course.
As another season premiere, you wonder where Michael or somebody came in contact with her and thought about this, because you're right. I mean, it's hard to imagine anybody else.
Why would they write this?
That's her genius, is that she made it so totally her own.
Yes.
Who knows what the draft of that script looked like?
Yeah.
British grandma pirate. No,
right.
They wrote this for her.
You know what this Prairie needs?
Yeah, Yeah.
I've got it, you guys. You know what the Prairie needs.
No, she was spectacular to watch, and I love the fact that the children. She's like the Pied Piper. The children,
Yeah.
other than Nellie,
Yes.
are completely. Even Willie.
Willie's
who
into
is so
it.
quick,
He's
he was like ready to come. He's right there with her.
It's play.
And
It's play.
and to
It's play.
defy. He gets to defy Nellie and go, yes, it's Garvey. It's like Boss. It's great. Shut up. Ha ha.
I
So
love
let-
when Willie goes with the against Nellie. It's so satisfying.
Yes, it's so what?
Satisfying. Because he always goes.
so
He's
cute.
always her little minion. You know, he's always
Yes, right.
her little sidekick. And
As soon as he gets the chance to be in your face, he does it. He's like, nope, got a crazy old lady backing me up. I say
Yeah.
it's Garvey.
right.
Well, here we are into this almost 40 minutes, and we haven't talked about the dog
I know.
yet.
Here's the most
now what
important
happens?
part.
Here we
Now
go.
it happens.
Now it happens. Here we go. Brace yourself, especially you
Everybody's
dog
worst nightmare.
lovers out there.
Everyone's worst nightmare when you find your pet.
So Laura comes home to a oiled up, shirtless paw working hard in the field. Not mad about it.
He's working on the corral. He's got a wrench. He's tightening a screw, a wood screw, on the corral.
He sure
which,
is.
I don't know that we.
Who cares?
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Wait, Pamela will have looked at this. Help me here. His suspenders, they don't go straight. Does he
No.
purposely move
They
his suspenders out to the
Yes,
side?
they gently caress. They gently
Nipple.
caress the nipple area. Correct.
Nipple.
They go to the it's boobs up, tits up. Yeah, I get it.
God.
Okay. But wait, but then it gets twisted because of what happens. It's like the most bizarre scenario for an oiled up shirtless paw. It's a crazy scenario that this is the scene that Pa would look like this. But
They
he
had to give
does,
some relief
and I'm not
during the
complaining.
tragedy. And here's Pa, though.
So
Laura comes
explain
home.
it, because I know you've taken this in
Right.
precisely.
Laura comes home, and Ma's like, girl, you didn't do what I asked you to do. Go to Jack. And she's still, like, putting up a fuss about it. She goes to the barn. She's still mad at Jack. She's screaming, being hateful at the dog. And then finds him, and alas, he is not moving. He is deceased. He is gone. And she screams for Pa. Pa comes in. And this is, I will say, the fact that he's shirtless doesn't matter because the death of the dog overrides the shirtless Pa. Right? Am I right? Like, you sort of, that goes away because you're so taken by this.
No, that's a very strong moment. It's a wonderful moment.
I
I
think
don't
it's on
know the
purpose.
choice for him being shirtless, why that was
I think
made,
you
but it was
make
made
it more
and it's fine.
jarring. Everything's great. You're all happy. Shirtless Pa. And then, bam.
Right. Even a shirtless Pa cannot save this animal. Anyway, in all seriousness, it is truly I was bawling my eyes out watching this. The sensitivity and also what he says to her is so perfect. It's just you couldn't get any
It's a good old
better.
dog.
Oh my
He had a
gosh.
good life. He had a
We were
wonderful
good
life. He had the
friends.
best life.
He traveled so many miles with us.
He brought up
You
the
had
river.
a special relationship with that dog. You know, all of that.
He said
it's
all the
very
things.
sweet. It's very sweet.
And
He did a callback. He brought up the river. He's crossed so many
Yes.
rivers. Wait, not the terrible Jack isn't in the wagon and almost drowns in the river. He
Right.
brought that back to all our
Right.
memories.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right
Yeah,
when they
yeah,
almost lost
yeah.
Jack in the river. He went
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I
it's so
have
sad.
to, we always have to mention that David Rose's underscore in this moment is so lovely and it's so gentle. The score in this is a wonderful score in this episode with the sort of the references, the English Irish cues for Kezia and the heartstrings for the dog, and it's very, very touching. I always stand by this, that David Rose, you never
goat.
see him on the screen, but his contribution is
He's the goat.
just out. I mean, it's just off,
one's better.
off the hook. It's so good.
No one is better than him.
This
No one.
scene is it. This is everybody's worst nightmare as a kid when your
Of
pet
course.
dies. find the pet. But he does. He literally says everything right. He had a good life, but she's guilty. The guilt, and even if she hadn't been fighting with him, everybody has the guilt, and then she was mean to the dog.
Of course, and that's why it was played that way. So you get that whipsaw of emotion and guilt and all. That's what. So and then the lesson is taught. You know, it's like we're always going to miss the people that we love, and there's no question that you love the dog. I mean, again, Pa's saying all the right things
because the viewers are connected to the dog too.
Of course.
We are emotionally connected to that dog. Yes, it's devastating.
Yeah.
I remember what the first dog we got. I was my daughter's age when we got our first dog, and I remember obsessing over, oh no, the dog's going to die that one day. The dog's going to die. It is an obsessive thought that you think of. Yeah. And then when we got our puppy, Margot has talked several times about I don't want the dog to die. The dog's going to die someday, and it's a thing kids think about all the time.
I think about it with our dog. You know, I mean, we just celebrated our dog's 4th birthday, and you know, in human years, he's 32 already.
That's right.
You know, it's like he's moving through this much quicker than we are.
Yep.
And
he's got a career. Really... he's well established.
Yeah. He's made his first million already.
That's right. He's doing great.
Yeah. He certainly had his first million dog biscuits already. But no, I mean these things are so powerful in our lives. These creatures that we have in our lives we just attach to them so strongly. We you know, Catherine and I are always talking about the fact that Benny's is our child. Mm-hmm. I mean, and a dog is like your child.
Yes.
Pamela, you know that you have
dogs are people too.
Did you ever have a dog before you had your children, or is the dog an addition after? Children?
I mean, I had a dog growing up, but not in adult. Not my own dog in adulthood.
All right, we're going to do tragic dog tales during Patreon. I have tragic cat tales.
Yes.
The pet. The pet.
Yes. We'll come back to dogs.
End of your.
Should we take a? Oh, sorry.
I think we're only at the end of Act 1 here.
Let's take a quick break, and then we will come up and hurry up to the ending.
Get back to Pirate Grandma. Okay, Pirate Grandma.
Okay, we'll be right back.
When you visit Simi Valley, California, you're stepping into the pages of history. Go from the pioneers to the presidents. Explore beautiful wildflowers, hike through iconic Hollywood locations, and end your day aboard the actual Air Force One at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum. Throughout the summer, take the Little House 50th Anniversary Tour at Big Sky Movie Ranch. Less than 15 minutes from Los Angeles and 30 minutes from Universal Studios, Simi Valley has small-town charm with big-time history. Go to visitsimiValley.com for more information. We are so grateful to visitsimiValley.com for their commitment to presenting the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
We're back. Hi, everyone. We're back. Okay, here we go. Act 2. What happens next?
Everything.
So it's really we've got so much ground to cover here. So we meet Bandit. So Pa's in Mankato. He's getting bacon in the back of the wagon, and this dog, this very cute white dog with a black face, jumps up on to get the bacon, and the owner of the store rushes him off. Bandit or this dog we're going to come to know as Bandit jumps on the wagon, rides with Pa back to Walnut Grove, and Pa realizes he's got a new dog for Laura to help ease the pain, and Laura is not interested.
And
he's Bandit because the guy said, "Oh, he steals it." But guess his name's Bandit. Little Bandit. Laura flips out. She is full puberty in this one. She is so angry. She doesn't want him in the house. She doesn't want to do anything with the dog. They're like, "Well, let him in." Boss being the softie, and she's like, "I will not look at the dog. I will not touch the dog." It's horrifying.
But that happens too when you have a pet that you love that has died. You think, I can never do this again. I can never have a dog again. It hurts too much when they go.
Yeah. We have a Carrie moment. I do have to one of the greatest Carrie moments because, as I said, Carrie is brilliant in this episode.
She actually has dialogue. Yes.
Top 10 Carrie moment. Okay, she's already licked the thing and continued to ice a cake. It's a nightmare. she starts chatting and she starts talking about dogs. Carrie's gonna get in on this, and she says her friend has a dog. She says,
Named
Sally,
Tom.
we could name him Tom. Sally North has a dog named Tom, and you can even understand her. At which point Mary turns around and goes, Sally North has a cat.
Carrie.
Because Carrie.
Why? Why do they make her like that? Ugh.
I actually went, Baha! I like hooted out loud at the Carrie goes, it's cat, Carrie.
So Laura can't take it. She excuses herself.
Nothing.
Bandit, the new bandit, goes and looks up at her on the stairs. End of Act 2.
Yeah. The poor Poochie Woochie. Okay.
Yeah. So that's okay. That's now we start in with Act 3, and we are going to meet. Well, actually, we've met. Okay, we skipped over meeting Jonathan Garvey. Jonathan has a sore back.
Been in a running thing. He's been working there, and he goes to Kezia for help with his back. He's like the embodiment of an Advil commercial.
Yeah, that's coming.
Yes. He's we're at the mill when we see Jonathan.
Right.
His back is
hurting.
He has a lot of back problems. And so he starts to drink a little whiskey to ease the pain, except Mary catches him and doesn't even realize what he's actually drinking.
And he dumps the whole bottle in the water.
Accidentally dumps the whole bottle in the little bucket of drinking water.
Well, apparently Mr. Hansen, who's like not in this episode, drank some because he's not there. But Nels is there and goes, "You hit him sick. He was really dizzy." And Charles is like, "Are you okay?" "I'm great." Now, I have to say, again, what Richard Bull, another finest moment. Richard Bull drunk in this episode. Genius. Brilliant. He's so drunk. He's drunk for the rest of the episode.
Yes.
I never saw Richard Bull drunk in real life. Even when we were at the parties and there was alcohol and he would have wine like normal drink. I never saw Richard Bull get hammered.
He would never have done that. Yeah.
No, because he would have been too polite. That's not proper etiquette.
I'm
sure he would have been hilarious. But his performance as drunk Nels is freaking brilliant. It's
it is.
It's a great moment. It's a great moment.
It is so good. Okay, so they're getting drunk unknowns to them.
And there's so many different ways to play drunk. I mean, he was, Richard made the choice to play comedic drunk.
Yes.
And he did it wonderfully. He just and he gave Michael everything he needed to react to this. Like, what are we looking at here? What's going on? Obviously, Michael knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And Nels is having a fun time, or Richard is having a fun time sharing those moments. Really,
and we're having a fun time watching
wonderful.
it.
Yeah, it's great fun to watch, no question.
Passes right out. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so poor Bandit, this dog keeps trying, wants to be with Laura very desperately, keeps trying to win her love. She wants nothing to do. He keeps chasing his tail, which, by the way, is freaking adorable. How could you not like that? But she literally is like kicking him away. And
then Nellie is really mock him to make it worse.
Yes,
because Laura's
something
dog
calling him an ugly dog.
Laura
has an ugly dog.
Is ugly as a hog. Laura's dog is. Did we sit up all night thinking up that?
They're so
Laura's
horrible.
Dog is ugly as a hog. We're just harassing her dog now.
Clearly, Nellie and Willie can't see because this is one cute dog.
I know.
Yeah, Bandit is a really cute dog.
The Olsen children have no pets.
No, I mean, look at Bunny. Hello, no pets ever again. Never. So someone who tells Jonathan that Kezia is the person to go to for his back. Someone says, go to Kezia. She knows everything.
Oh, it's Mary.
Mary
Says it.
Mary of all people.
Of all people, like, get thee to Kezia. She's a witch. Yes. Yeah. She knows everything, which he does.
Yes.
And he goes to her, quote unquote, house.
Yes.
Knocks on the door. The quote unquote door. And she knows exactly how to treat his back and exactly what it is. Doc Baker fail. Doc Baker can cure gangrene and smallpox and all this stuff, but he can't cure Jonathan Garvey's bad back.
Sore back, yeah. She describes it as a bit of the roomy.
The roomy.
Yes, she's right. He has rheumatism.
Has the roomy.
She's right.
Yeah, I love the fact that then the crow lands on Jonathan's head.
The talking crow.
I want to.
I can't
acknowledge for a moment that this is Merlin's first performance
And he's got a
on the
phone set.
series.
First day.
And I mean, you can see that you can see that he's figuring it out. But the great thing about Merlin always was the case is that Merlin was he was very coachable, being a world-class athlete. He was extremely coachable, and he was absolutely willing to step in and take a shot at whatever he was doing. He may not have had all the facility that he maybe would have wanted, but my God, this is his first performance. I think he steps in very bravely.
I do too.
And acquits himself extremely well in the episode.
And he's always so honest, simple and honest.
Yeah, natural playing.
Correct.
And he did. Yep.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of that. And that's why Michael hired him.
Yeah.
Was to bring
I
that.
wonder how that happened though. Like, do you know the story behind how he even became an actor? Like, how did he get hooked up with this? Anyway, that could be for a different episode, but it's intriguing to me, like how that all...
There is a very good story there. We need to drill down on that. And I know I've heard the story, but I can't remember it well enough to feel like I can say it credibly now. But there is a story.
All right. Yeah. Well, whenever we do our next Garvey episode, we'll do a deep dive into that. Okay, so let's move on. So Reverend Alden does his due diligence, and he goes to Kezia's quote-unquote house,
her house
to wish her well, give her blessings, and say, you need to go. And he's even like, how are you going to survive the winter? This isn't a house. Which I want to know also. Like, what is she planning on doing when it gets cold? They are in Minnesota, for God's sake.
Yes,
he is on to him. Cold. It's not the winter you're worried about.
Right.
I'm not wanted here. Duh. I'm going. Yeah. And she busts him, and she says, I've been everywhere. People are all the same. It's not they're good or bad. They're afraid of anything different. It's human nature. And he's embarrassed because she's right.
Yeah.
And she just says, and he says, don't ever change. And then, again, the epic lines. People are the same all over. They're afraid of anything different. And then Reverend Alden says, don't ever change. It's the people who are different who move the mountains.
Boom. Great. Line and true. And
he
amazing.
He says, yeah, don't ever change. Where will you go? I'll get by. Well, Reverend Alden's got to be going. Close the door on your way out, she says, and that's the end of Act 3.
Brilliant.
So there are very few scenes in this episode. This episode flies. It's really quick. How it goes. All right, so.
Oh, and it's Kezia who makes Laura take the damn dog.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
so mean.
So that's coming.
That comes next. So
yeah, that's coming.
Laura,
next. So Laura's coming to
comes
town
to visit.
see Kezia.
Yes.
And
the kids love Kezia.
And you see Kezia react like, what? She's like beating the dog. What?
She threw a stick at the damn dog. Yeah, a branch.
You hear the dog yelp. I think that probably was a sound effect yelp.
Yes.
But
recording.
But yes.
The dog is fine. Yeah,
you see the stick fly at the dog.
And Hermione goes straight there. She goes straight there because Laura's like, it's not my dog, it's not my dog. And she busts her for being cruel. She's like, why are you being this animal? What do you do?
Could be
and then when she talks about, driving off a little dog who just wants to be loved, she's in her face, tells her she's doing wrong, and she's driving off. And then flat out, when Laura's like, why are they making you leave? She's like, yeah, because why are you making your dog leave? Hi. And just goes right there. It's the same as you torturing that poor stupid dog.
That's
Hello,
right.
I'm being driven off dogs, better figure it out.
It's sort of like, I'm an adult, I can manage this, but the dog doesn't understand, and the dog needs to be loved. Laura gets the message right away. She excuses herself. I love you. She says, I love you, Bandit. Don't be afraid.
Sweet dog
Very
running
sweet
in these beautiful fields is so pretty. What a beautiful shot.
Paws on the fence with you. Little paws on the fence.
Yeah, that's very sweet when he puts his paws
That's
up.
when they got me.
Nice trained behavior.
Do I
think
ever
our friend
cry?
Sharon Evans maybe trained Bandit to do that.
Do I ever cry? Do I ever cry at episodes? Right, I'm the hard, evil one. Cry. Oh no. The dog runs away. She tries to reclaim. He then comes back. He's messing with her, and there's the paws on the thing. And I'm dead. That's it. I cry. Animals. That's the only time they get me in the show. the animals, the raccoon and freaking bandit, dead. And Kezia got her when she said, "Oh, you're afraid. You don't want to love the dog because you're afraid he's going to die because you don't want to live." She goes right there. This woman is a trained psychologist, apparently, when she's not being a pirate, and goes right there and talks about I lost 2 husbands, and welcome to life. People die, dogs die, and she lays it out. She lays it out.
So Laura chases off to find Bandit. Kezia gets in her wagon and drives away.
Starting to go.
Laura finds the dog, makes amends with the dog in this very sweet scene.
Yeah.
Finds Kezia gone and goes to church as they are all singing Onward Christian Soldiers, and Laura makes her case. She offers the message of the episode.
You were in church enough times. Did you start singing along when you were watching the episode? Did you start going, "Onward Christian marching"?
I did. We all know it.
I did. Always listen for Miles Middow in those scenes. Who was our AD? Pamela. Miles was our first assistant director, who had a very big voice, and you can always hear Miles singing in the background.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
He and Ruthie Foster, who we've talked about many times, Ruthie Foster, could sing. And when we would sing, they would blow the pitch pipe, and Ruthie and Miles would start us off because they could sing. They were like the vocal coaches, like the choir director for us. And we'd go, "Come on, kids." And we try to follow them. They go, "Here it is, and it's this note." We'd go, "Hey." Maybe. Also, this is one of those little moments. You come into church, everything brilliant. But my first question is, what is on my head?
What was on your head?
Millie apparently decided to wear Mrs. Olsen's hats. Apparently, they briefly tried to have the idea that Nellie was going to start wearing Mrs. Olsen's hats. It didn't last, but it's in this episode. I'm sitting there going, "Oh, this is so touching. What's on my head?" There is this enormous floral parade float on my head for no particular reason. And I'm just like, what the? And there's a huge dramatic scene, and I've got like what looks like a cake on my freaking head. And I'm like, oh, Nellie has gone berserk and is wearing Mrs. Olsen hats out of nowhere.
It's a choice. It's a choice. You know what? The writer's room, that guy was like, "You know what the Prairie needs? Hats. We need more hats."
Good for you, Pamela. That's a good runner through this.
That's it. That's what this
You know
show
what
is
the
all
Prairie
about.
needs? I think you have to keep bringing that back. That's really good.
You know what the Prairie needs?
Okay, well then Laura's like, "Come on, everybody, we can't kick her out. This is crazy." And then, Alison, I'm sure you have the quotes, and then the Reverend Alden says the most impactful speech he could possibly say.
Gets down. He has been dying to bust them because he did want Kezia to stay, and he knew it was wrong. And he's like, "Oh, Christians," and starts quoting the Bible. She talks about her door, and he says, "Knock, and it shall be open to you," and starts talking. All the Bible quotes about doors suddenly appear, and he starts talking about, yes, this is what God does, and he starts saying, someone who's different, our Lord and Savior who came into Nazareth, and he says, so if Jesus showed up in Walnut Grove, a foreigner and completely different from us and all this, would you drive him away like you're driving away Kezia? How would you do? Basically, like, you are all terrible fake Christians, and you're all saying this stuff, but here's this perfectly nice little old lady who might have been a pirate, and you're being terrible to her, and the kid is right, and now what? And they all hang their heads, except Mrs. Olsen, who's totally awful, and still gets up and goes, no. But by this time, Mr. Garvey, she healed his back, so he loves her, and she's outvoted, and thank God they get it, and they get in the wagon and go after the poor lady. But Reverend Alden busts them biblically.
And what we get at the end is this wonderful wide shot, looking at those of us who know that Simi Valley, looking up at the rim of the San Fernando Valley there,
and at the mountains of the Prairie,
Padres Forest that we're looking at in the distance. And it's just this beautiful wide shot. Michael loved to shoot those kinds of wide shots. You didn't need any dialogue. It's just you got this when the Jonathan's wagon they pan right, and as soon as you hit Kezia's wagon in the distance, the theme changes to the Irish theme.
That's right.
And the wagon's going down the hill and closing in, and then you have Laura's voiceover that says Kezia stayed and I had a new dog, and you cut to Bandit. Sweet shot of Bandit running to camera, freeze frame, out.
I know.
And as Pamela often brings up, the people who are supposedly guest stars and they're going to be here forever, the voiceover says, and we were their friends for a day.
We never see her again.
For once, both new characters stay. Bandit is the damn dog, and Bandit stays for the rest of the show, and Kezia stays, so we get the Lake Kezia.
That's true. Of course,
we get the Lake Kezia
monster.
model.
Do we see Kezia?
She's in a few episodes, isn't she?
No, she
A
does
couple
a few.
times. No, she's back. She is back, and
she
thank
does 3 or
God we have the
4, I
Lake
think.
Kezia
Seems to me in
monster,
different
because
ways.
Lake Kezia monster is like epic. That's
Right.
another beautiful
Right.
episode. So yes, she does stay, and she is a regular person, and she pops up, and she's in multiple episodes, and the dog stays forever. For Laura is not a liar in the voice.
She did not enter the vortex. Hallelujah.
Hermione Baddeley became, in the parlance of episodic television, she became a recurring character. She was not a contract player.
Yeah.
Doc Baker was never a contract player. Neither was
so
Reverend Alden.
crazy.
Never a contract player.
Okay.
They were always
bazillion
recurring
people.
throughout.
Yeah.
So this was
It's a miracle I had a contract, because a whole like massive number of people, they said, we'll just go episode to episode, and they were friends with Michael, so they said, okay, and most of the time it worked. The downside was, if you didn't have a contract to renew, money got weird. You didn't make as much money. You just didn't make as much money for a contract player.
right.
And then the downside is, Michael discovers, if somebody offers you Carter Country, you go, because you don't have a contract.
But he was mad at him for going, wasn't he?
Oh,
like that created
that was not a good moment.
Yeah,
that
but
was
I mean,
not a good moment.
the sort of hypocrisy of that is, well, if you want to keep him, put him on like, what else is he supposed to do?
I think maybe he learned his lesson after that. I think a lot of people suddenly became contract players.
Yeah,
after that.
I mean,
I had a contract, which is
it is
cuckoo
wild
bra,
that
yeah.
Doc Baker and Reverend Alden were not on contract. That is crazy.
That
pants.
unfortunately cuts both ways, as everybody found out.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think from a business standpoint, it's a smart, economical decision to do that. From the point of view of esprit de corps, not necessarily a great decision, and that was rarely did it bite the company. I mean, look, this was Michael's decision. This was Kent's decision. They did it this way. And most of the time, it worked out. And sometimes
most of it
didn't.
worked out. You didn't have to pay extra. You didn't have to do this unless the person got another gig and you wanted them, because then you had no
That's
say.
right.
Someone
And then you
was
had to
on the
pay
other
them.
foot.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. It goes both ways. So
It does. But listen, a beautiful episode.
Such
There's
a
so
lovely
many little
episode.
lessons. There's so many little lessons in it. But it starts and ends with Laura and her, the rejection of a friend, to the devastation of the loss of a friend, to making a new friend, accepting that friend's differences, and then advocating for that friend to the whole town. And you're saying Laura? Laura was 13. Melissa was 13 at that point.
15.
Yeah.
Yep.
She looks so little. And if it helps in terms of like what are the Little House lessons, I will say that when I was watching this with my little daughter, and it was the part where Bandit is running in the mustard fields, and he's running away from her, and Laura is finally like, "I love you, Bandit. I love you. I'm here now." And he's like, "Nope," and he's running away. And Margot said, and my jaw dropped open, Margot said, "But she had all that time." And she said, "That's a life lesson."
I'm sorry, she had all that time. What does that mean?
Meaning Laura had all that time to love the dog and be nice to the dog, and now the dog's not responding anymore because she's been mistreating the dog.
Right.
And then she just went, "But that's a life lesson. That's a good life lesson."
How old
She's
is she
7.
again?
7.
She's 7. And she said, "That's a life lesson."
I
That's
couldn't
what
believe
we know.
it.
Well,
Is
she is her
52
mother's
years old.
daughter for sure. I mean,
Very.
yeah.
Very astute.
But that's why this show. That's why our show is a hit 52 freaking years later.
No, that's
because a 7-year-old can watch it and go, and that is a life lesson.
Yes, that's it. Exactly. That was the point of me saying. I'm not bragging about my brilliant daughter. I'm just saying the point of even saying that is that these
Hermione
lessons are still.
Okay.
Oh, she was on 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah, no, these lessons are still there to be learned. I mean,
Yes.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
This does not
This
age.
one's like a triple whammy. This one, she was in the Castoffs and like Kezia. She was in the Handyman. Does anybody remember that? Kezia
That's right. She had a quick
Yeah.
moment. It was,
Yeah.
and it wasn't really like Kezia,
she was there.
like Kezia Monster. Obviously, that was a significant creative contribution to that episode. I think the Handyman, she just was there, and I don't think that was
Town
really
folk.
a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
But these two were those two, Castoffs and Kezia Monster, were wonderful, wonderful opportunities for her, and she delivered. Huge.
The impression this woman made with these episodes, like Kezia, is that when we were in Simi Valley with our 18,000 friends, the 50th, not one, but 2 women showed up in full Kezia Horn, Hermione Baddeley cosplay, full head to foot elaborate costumes, one with a large crow sewn to the shoulder of her coat.
That's awesome.
And the other was doing,
that.
like Kezia, had the hat and a spear and had a harpoon. She had a harpoon and the sailor hat that she used in Lake Kezia. They came as Castoffs and Lake Kezia, 2 full-on Hermione Baddeley complete costumes, complete with harpoon and crow.
Wow.
No, that's really fun. And this
That's a great
character,
impact.
this character delivers a wonderful. Certainly in this episode, I mean, she's tons of fun in the Lake Kezia Monster. In this one, she really delivers an important lesson, and it's not surprising, in a sense that Michael comes back at the start of a new season to deliver something that has a real, a major message to it. And I think this was his style. He always directed season premiere episodes. Always. That was his deal.
And another
And script
baller
episodes.
move to start off a season, which is like the writer room. The guy in the writer room was like, you know what the Prairie needs? The dog to die. The Prairie needs a dead dog somewhere.
Yeah.
It's so,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
It's
baller
so
move, man.
Yeah.
But it worked. I mean, woof. Jeez, the emotional
Look,
impact.
I mean, Game of Thrones killed off characters right and left,
everybody.
and, it's like
That's what was
no
so
one
terrifying
safe.
about watching it. Exactly. No one was safe.
No one
and
was safe.
we're so used to our beloved characters always,
Right.
you don't
Succumbing
kill off
through.
your beloved
Yeah.
characters, right?
Yeah.
But nope, the dog got his day.
I think we need to
We're
race
done.
to the exit now.
We're done. Hey, everybody.
We're going to go in depth on animals on Patreon.
We are.
because
Join us on Patreon because it's all about dogs and pets and animals and what they all mean to us. And that'll be a really nice conversation. But again, check out our show notes. Check out our live event November 22nd, 1 p.m. There's a contest for digital ticket people. Everything's in the show notes, all of our upcoming events and goings-ons. And that's it for today. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you next time. Bob, get the wig. Let's fly, baby. In beautiful mustard greens with bandit and freeze frame. They work the freeze frame in this show.